Hi everyone, hi members. I thought it would be a good time to do an update, and I thought the best way to do an update would be to do a video rather than a long email. Let me know if you prefer email updates or video updates. I feel like video updates are better personally. But let me know. There's a bunch of stuff I want to talk about in this update. It's been about 6 weeks since I did an update, so I'm a bit late on this one. But there's been a lot going on. There's also been end of financial year thrown in there. This is the first end of financial year where I'm like running a company. So yeah, anyway, it's been a busy time. Please let me update you on what we've been working on and what we're looking towards in the future. There's a bunch of stuff I want to talk about. I want to talk about Create A Cryptic because we launched that about 6 weeks ago. I want to talk about the book a little bit. I want to talk about the Android app. I want to talk about regional pricing, and I want to talk about a donation that we made without saying too much about it because I'm going to announce it later. Anyway, I'll start talking about the things now. So basically, yeah, about 6 weeks ago, we launched Create A Cryptic, and when we launched, you could fill in a form, and then you would get your clue in the app, and you could submit it to us optionally, and then you got a link to share it with people so that they could solve it too. And we have since quickly rolled out a list view now so that when you go into it, you see the list of clues that you've created historically, and you can go into them and play them or share them or whatever. So that's a little update post launch. And heaps of people have created cryptic clues, and you will have seen them coming through in the daily clue. We are getting some really good clues. It's great. I love seeing just the creativity and yeah, the variety coming through from our members. Every time I do a daily clue, and there's more and more now. I just filmed some this morning. Every time there's a member clue, that is just so exciting. And yeah, so we've had over 2,500 member clues come through in the last 6 weeks, which is great. And with that, we've had a bunch of requests and suggestions, and some of them are like quite straightforward requests and suggestions. So people want to be able to edit their clues once they've created them, and they want to be able to delete their clues once they've created them. That makes sense. We're going to do that. There might be a few things under the hood that we've kind of got to sort out first, but I know that some people want to edit their clues, and instead they're creating new versions of previous clues. It's probably all getting a bit cluttered for them. We will sort that out. You'll be able to edit your clues. You will be able to delete your clues and keep your clue writing space clean and organized. So we're going to do that. Other things that people have asked about is they want to see other people's clues. So there are a bunch of members. There are 2,500 clues that have been written. People want to see clues from other members. And that makes a lot of sense. And people are asking that. And I think that's the direction that we're going to go in. So let me just take a moment to paint my vision for what member clues become, because I'm keen to hear what you think. And to do that, I want to start by talking about the idea of community spaces, which is something that I touched on briefly in a previous member email, which is like, do people want to kind of have a Minute Cryptic forum kind of community space where we can chat with each other, where it's not just in the comments section of a video? And some people seemed quite enthusiastic about this, and we talked about, is Discord the right space, and all that kind of stuff. What we're working on at the moment is creating a community space in the website. And so I'm working with a digital community consultant to kind of work out how to set that up right, and to avoid common pitfalls, and how to launch it correctly, and what kind of spaces to have, and all that kind of stuff. It's probably a few months away, but the idea is that when you're logged into the app or the website, there will be a space in the website or the app where you can go and you can read through what other people have written and write your own stuff, and there'll be different spaces for different topics. There's much more to come on that. I don't need to describe all of that now. But the one thing that I do want to say about it is that one of the spaces will be for workshopping your own clues. And so the vision I think that we have for member clues is that Create A Cryptic is a really great way to just draft a clue that you're working on. You might jot it down there and then edit it a bit later. And then you might take the link and go to the community section and share it in the clue workshopping space and request feedback, and people can see new clues pop up in the workshopping space, click on them, play them, solve them like they would normally on Minute Cryptic, read your hints, things like that, work it out, and then leave some constructive, positive, enthusiastic feedback in that workshopping space. And there'll be guidelines. Here's how to leave feedback. Be kind, all that kind of stuff. But that will help you to hone your clue and work out how to make it better. And then you can edit the clue, you can share it with your friends as you can do now, and you can submit it to us as well. And then we will choose from those submitted clues to us, we'll choose clues that we think are great for the daily clue. But we will also choose clues that we think are great, but maybe not for the daily clue, for the member clue section. And a lot of member clues are really good, but they're just not exactly right for the daily clue, because the daily clue kind of has to be fairly welcoming. It can't be insanely hard, I think. And so this means that we will have a member list for members of curated clues from our members that are solid and fun and probably often harder than the daily clue. And so you can engage in the workshopping space, but you don't have to. And you can engage in the solving space where hey, these are member clues that have been written, but they have been curated by the Minute Cryptic team. It's gone through, humans have looked at these clues and gone, is this a good clue? Does this clue work? So it won't just become filled with junk, just in case there are some junk clues written. I don't know. So anyway, that will be how that works. And then if you want to leave feedback on a clue or a comment, being part of the clue workshopping space is the best way to do that. So that's kind of the vision there. And then, Liam and I might also do some kind of podcast on clue writing, and then that might evolve into kind of, courses for members on clue writing and things like that. There's that side of things as well that we'll see what happens there. But that's kind of the vision for the member clue space, so that members have access to other members' clues, even if they don't know them kind of in real life. So that's the vision. So we are working on that, but that will take time. So that's where things are at with Create A Cryptic and kind of the vision there. The second thing I want to talk about is the book. There's not a lot to say here, except that it's going really well, getting good feedback from my publishers about pre-orders, which is positive. I did do a video recently where I talked about the system of pre-sales and how pre-sales kind of trigger a bunch of different activity. And one of the things I said was that big book buyers will look at pre-sales, and then that will influence how many books they order from the publishers, and then publishers respond to that. Interestingly, one thing that's happened is that the American publishers have reached out to me to say, we were planning on publishing your book in late January. That was about as early as they thought they could do it. But Target has reached out to them to say, we are really enthusiastic about the Minute Cryptic book, and we actually want you to publish on the 30th of December. Can you do that? And the publishers have sort of figured themselves out and gone, actually, we can publish that early. We've figured stuff out with our printing companies and all that side of things. And so just a really interesting example of how that system is actually kind of working, and quite encouraging as well that Target's gone, no, we're kind of a bit bullish about this book. We want to buy a lot of copies. Can you fit in with our timeline? So just an interesting example of that thing that I kind of explained a couple of weeks ago, working in an interesting way. So that's kind of exciting. So yes, if you are in that video, I expressed my disappointment that the US publishing date wasn't really in line with kind of Europe and Australia publishing date. It's still not in line. It's December as opposed to September. But I don't know. That's positive. So positive news for Minute Cryptic, but also hopefully welcome news if you are in the US or Canada or neighboring areas. The third thing I want to talk about is the Android app. We launched the Android app. Oh, yes, a long time coming. Thank you to all our members who are Android users who stuck with us. And so basically, the Android app at the moment is not a lot different from the website, but it has been built in such a way that we can keep making app-specific improvements. And so we've just got the platform to build on for that in the future, which is very exciting. If you don't have the Android app and you use Android, download it, leave a positive review if you want. That would be cool. But yes, it's a huge relief to finally get that done. And I just want to say thank you as well. Like right now I've got 2 developers just kind of working on Minute Cryptic stuff, and memberships is the way that we are funding that. Prior to memberships, there's no way that we would have been able to fund that. And in fact, the iOS app was developed by a volunteer. Thank you, John, our volunteer who built the iOS app. So memberships have just really meant that we've been able to go, right, what are the things that we need to do? And we can kind of hire people to do them, which is great, because you don't want me doing them for sure. So that's the Android app. Fourth thing, regional pricing. We are about to introduce regional pricing, which means that soon, if you are in Australia, the UK, the EU, Canada, India, or New Zealand, you'll have the option of switching your membership payments to your local currency. So this switch will happen on platform. It will take 2 clicks on the website or in the app, and it will take 30 seconds of your time. We launched in US dollars to keep things simpler and more manageable for launch, but we heard clearly that people wanted to pay in their own currency. Makes a bunch of sense. So we've invested in making that really easy. And so when we're ready to roll this out, it'll probably be in a week, maybe 2 weeks, but I think it's actually going to be in the next week. You'll see a notification on the homepage of the app or the website, and you'll just be able to find the option to switch in the accounts page. So you'll see the little accounts icon in the top left corner. This is my left. This is your left. In the top left corner of the home screen, you just click that, and that's the accounts page. There will be an option to just 2-click switch to your local currency if you live in one of those regions. And you will have a notification on the homepage telling you that it's ready. If you don't want to switch, you don't have to switch. And if you like paying in US dollars, you don't have to switch. If you're not in one of those regions, you won't see that notification or that option to switch because it is only available to Australia, UK, EU, Canada, India, or New Zealand. If you are in another region and want to pay in your local or in your regional currency, let me know and we'll add it to the list to work in. We chose those countries because they are clearly the majority countries where our users play and our members play. Was that the 4th thing or the 5th thing? Anyway, it doesn't matter. The last thing I want to say is that we've made a donation to Alzheimer's Research Australia, and I'll announce this on social media in the coming weeks, so I won't preempt that announcement too much here, but I do want to say something here because it's really you, our members, that have given us the ability to generate enough revenue to cover our costs and make a donation like this. And Minute Cryptic is it's primarily about fun and silliness and words and those things all together. And that's really important. And Minute Cryptic, I think, will always primarily be about fun and silliness and words. It's about more than that, I think, because in addition to those things, I've really been struck with how many solvers have reached out and told me that they do Minute Cryptic and cryptics to keep mentally sharp and to stave off cognitive decline. And it is an immense privilege for Minute Cryptic to be somewhat associated with cognitive health. And I want us to embrace that. And I think embracing that and taking it seriously means that we need to put our money where our mouth is. That is the only way that we can honestly say, I think, Minute Cryptic is about both fun and mental acuity. And so we've made that donation. I'll speak more about it in the coming weeks. I'll announce it. I've got a few things to pull together before that announcement. But I just wanted to say something here because this is an update for members and to say thank you. You are powering everything we do. The spread of cryptics, the improvements that we're making to the platform, both for members and non-members, and now you are powering our ability to give back to something that we think is incredibly important, and also very meaningful and personally meaningful to many of us, including me. And so I just want to say thank you, and yeah, happy solving.